I was on Instagram browsing through my feed. I saw my best friend Alexis posted a picture of herself sitting by the side of her backyard pool with her friend, so I liked it and planned on leaving a comment. I read through all her other comments first, and at the very bottom, a comment left only a minute ago was from a man with the username Jam00235. It said, "You are a very hot little lady." I should mention we're both 16, and when I clicked on this guy's profile, he appeared to be like 40. Most of his pictures were of random landscapes. Some were of varying random objects, like a half-full bottle of beer and some weird stone statue. Most of his pictures had no likes. Some had like 1 or 2 likes at most. He only had 15 followers, yet he followed over 100 people, including Alexis. I texted her about the comment and told her she should remove it and block his account. She blocked the account, and I went about liking and commenting on the picture like I originally planned on doing. The next day after school, Alexis and I walked home together since we lived right across the street from each other. On our way home, we noticed a white car driving slowly in the street next to us. It was a little suspect, so Alexis told me to come to her house with her. Whoever was driving that car slowed down when we got to her house, then sped away as soon as we entered. It was the sketchiest thing we'd ever seen. I stayed over Lexi's house the rest of the day. We worked on our biology project together. Then we just hung out until late at night since we had no school the next day. It was often that I'd spend the whole day at Lexi's house. This was one of those times. We ordered a pizza since Lexi's parents weren't home. That also meant it was just the two of us in the house, so we were being as loud as we wanted. We heard a knock at the front door of the house, just slightly though since we were upstairs in her room. Alexis went downstairs to open the door, but she's a really cautious person, so when I didn't hear her open the front door, I had a feeling she was peeking out the window to make sure it was the pizza guy. I was confused when I heard her quietly rushing back up the stairs into her room. She shut the door and looked at me with her mouth wide open, and said there's some creepy guy on her stoop. I didn't believe her. I thought it had to be the pizza guy. I went downstairs with her to check the window. There was no one on the stoop, though. As she was swearing that she wasn't lying, the doorknob to the back door turned. Someone tried pushing the door open, but the lock prevented it. We looked at each other with horrified expressions on our faces and ran back to her room. She locked the door and sat in fear on her bed. We thought as long as we waited in her room, we'd be okay, and whoever was out there would go away. But something completely unexpected happened next. Alexis screamed and pointed at the window, where a man's head was visible looking into the room. The man was holding a camera up to the glass. What made the sight even more horrifying was the fact that we were on the 2nd floor, which meant this man climbed up onto the patio roof. I screamed in horror too as we ran to the basement, perhaps the safest place in the house. We stayed down there the rest of the night until Lexi's parents came home, and we told them all about what happened. They were shocked, but really what could anyone do? I went home that night to see a text on my phone from Alexis, saying she just looked back at the random man's Instagram account and saw that the person's face matched the person who was at the window. I looked at it too and agreed. I told her to report the account to the authorities. She didn't know how. Honestly, I didn't either, so I told her to wait until the next day to figure it out. However, the next day, the account was deleted. Either that or renamed. No one ever saw that man again, but we do keep our Instagram accounts on private now.